Hello, Mrs. Smith.
Hi, Miss Meyer.
Nice to meet with you today. I'd like to go over what you're expected of and your rights as a parent with a child in special education.
Okay.
We'll go over the notice. The first notice that you will receive is when your child will first be referred to special education. You'll also be notified of any complaint or change of placement of your child. After that, we'll send a notice every year as an annual notice for you to have on record. We will also send you a notice by any request that you make to us. We will provide a prior written notice if the school, we will notify you if we propose or refuse to change child services. We'll be sure that this written notice is easy to understand and in easy terms. So if you ever have any questions, you can always contact me here at the school.
Okay.
We'll need your consent for much things with dealing with special education. We'll need your consent before we perform any evaluation on John and before he is placed in special education. We'll also need consent from you if we are to reevaluate John for his needs and to provide him different services.
Okay.
Confidentiality is very important in our special education, as it is important that those child's needs and those child's records especially are kept private, and anything to do with that child is not leaked out to others their information. So you will be able to have access to your child's records whenever you would like. If you notify the school, they will send you a copy of the records. Records of anyone else who sees his records will be written on with their name, date, and reason why they are viewing his records, so that we are able to see who has viewed his records and when.
Okay.
Evaluation is important in special education, as we must find what their weaknesses and strengths are, what we can do to help them, and what services they are needed to provide in a school. It is very important for parents to be involved in their students' education, so as this process and we evaluate, the parent is asked to be on the team because it is important for the parent to see what is going on with their student and help make decisions to benefit that student in the best ways they think possible. The team considers the needs of the students, in which you will help them provide and understand what is needed in the evaluation process while viewing the student. If you disagree at any time, you may request an IEE, an IE is when one person comes in and you are able to have a reevaluation of the student from an outside party to view if the needs and requirements that the team provided, to see if they match or if they think something else would benefit your child better. So at any time you are able to request an IEE. You request one under the school, and after that the rest are on you.
Okay.
Do you have any questions so far?
Do you do the evaluation, or is there a team that does the evaluation?
There is a team. I would most likely be on the team evaluation as well as you.
Okay.
So we have a team of evaluators who watches the student on a regular basis to decide what his needs are, what we should provide to him to provide a free, appropriate education.
So you observe him in the classroom?
Yes.
The classroom teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
We also, when placing a student through evaluation, we decide what the least restrictive environment would be for that student. Least restrictive environment is one in which the student is able to benefit from and learn from. So we want to place the student with his peers as much as possible if it works for him and students around him. So if he's disrupting the classroom or anything, it doesn't work for him or other students to be in the classroom, there'll be times when he won't be at them. But we try to incorporate them in the classroom as much as possible, especially with other, not the main subjects, but more like music, recess, art, at least to have him involved with his peers at the least.
Okay.
Sometimes there are instances where we are able to not find parents, or there's no parents available for a student, in which case there'd be a segregate parent that the court would assign to represent the student, but in your case that is not an issue, as you are here for John. And okay, before the student, there's also a transfer of rights. So before your child's 18th birthday, you and your child will both be notified that all the rights will transfer from you to your child. Being 18, as they are older, they will have the rights transferred to them, unless it is seen otherwise that the child is not fit to have the responsibility of all the rights.
Even though they're still in school, the rights are transferred?
Yes.
Okay.
The complaint process. So if you at any time disagree with the evaluation or what procedures we are taking with your child, you can go through a complaint process. We try to resolve the issues in school first. So if we could like to start with you coming to me and talking about the placement of your child, what you might not disagree with, and see what we can work out. And then if we don't resolve the issue, you can move up to the principal and just try to keep it in school before we go to a court. One pushed method that is in our system is mediation, in which an outside source will come into our meeting, like IEP meeting, will be in there and they will facilitate to try to keep the focus on the student more than anything, so that it just saves a lot of time and energy than going to a due process hearing. If you do choose to do a due process hearing, it is a formal legal procedure to settle disputes between the school and you. If you do not disagree that your child is receiving an appropriate education or the correct services, you are able to file this at any time during the complaint process. You don't have to wait for everything to be done if you feel like you want to jump to that, but we first would like to try to resolve the issue in school before going to a court. But you do have that right as a parent to push that at any time. Manifest determination. So a lot with like the discipline, we see that students with disabilities should be have generally they need to learn understanding for discipline and understand that what is right of them and what is wrong of them. So they are placed with other students on a level where they must understand that, like, if a student without a disability gets punished for something, a student with a disability should as well be given a circumstance. And a lot of times we have the Behavior Act inside the IEP to determine what would happen in situations like this for behavior. If that student has a behavior issue, they may have different consequences than a student without a disability, but we must take action in determining this. And when this happens, we have to determine if the misconduct is related to the disability of the child. If it is related to their issue, it takes a different route. So we must, it's called manifest determination. So determining if it is related to the disability or not, and then different procedures are taken whether it is or not. So if it's not related to the disability, you will be given a very similar punishment to a student without a disability, although they are not able, if it exceeds 10 days, it's a very different procedure. So we have to address that then with you. But we do have a behavior in place for a behavior plan in place for the student as well on the IEP that the IEP team determines. And then private school placements. At any time that you think your child is not receiving a free appropriate education, so if you don't think they're getting the rights they deserve or anything, you do have the right to transfer to a private school that you believe fits your child's needs. And through that, you can be reimbursed for costs through the public school system, as they were not able to provide you with a public education. In any which case, if we are in a due process hearing because you believe your child is not receiving the appropriate education that they need, we will then have to keep the child, or you would be required to keep your child in the school system until the process hearing is done to determine the result, as there's a stay put rule that we have. So a stay put is where the child, during any dispute, must stay in the placement they are in. So if you remove your child during that, the school would not reimburse you for anything if they are proven for having the appropriate education. So if you remove your child during the stay put period, you would not be reimbursed for that one school day. But if they are proven to not be providing that, you could receive it for the following, as you would be then following the conduct of IDEA.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I think you covered everything.
Okay, good. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm looking forward to working with John. And you are always very important in his education, so we're looking forward to working with you as well and coming up with a good plan and procedure to help him with his academics.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Iyer.